Hello, welcome to Computer Programming 2. All right, so as you guys know, Computer Programming 2 builds off of the stuff that we learned in Computer Programming 1. So there's an expectation that you guys are not relearning, but building off of everything that we learned. So we already went through variables, conditionals, learned how to branch our code, learned how to draw using P5.js. Things that we're going to be covering in this course. We're going to learn more about encapsulation, making private variables, creating classes so that we can have more code that can be reused and be able to create much more complex programs. So we will be working on a program together as we progress. So we will kind of review those topics, but that's going to be pretty quick. And then we're going to kind of get into some of the other stuff as you guys are learning some of the new topics. But one of the bigger projects that we are going to get into that I'm excited is doing an infinite platform runner. So like side-scrolling games where you see like the character is running and dodging obstacles, and the goal is to try to get as far as possible. That's the type of game that we're going to create. So that affords us a lot of opportunity to be able to create objects that are much more complex, that have animations, that we can have enemies, we can have different types of enemies, different types of attacks, different types of actions. Our player could jump, he could duck, we could have him be able to collect power-ups, to maybe jump higher, to slow down. As the game progresses, we can have it go faster. There's a lot of things that we can do that will really help challenge you guys to be able to think on how you would develop a bigger project. Okay, now some of the stuff that we would do as we're developing it, I will walk through and help you guys do some of the project. But ultimately, this is going to become your guys' own project. So that means that you guys are going to have to implement different things. So based off of what we have talked about, if I show you guys how to do one enemy, you guys are going to end up having to create a different enemy and have them do different stuff, to make it more challenging. We don't want all to have the same game, and it's really not rewarding for you if all you do is just copy everything that I say and then don't really learn anything from it. Okay. But we get to really delve into interesting topics. Now, I do kind of keep it a little bit open-ended on some topics that you think would be really cool to put into our game, and I can cover it to a point, but I am kind of keeping it to the format of a 2D side-scrolling infinite platform runner. So it's not something that we can change directions like Mario Brothers, stuff like that. It's just going across the screen. We can have, we could make platforms to jump onto and jump down to help dodge. There's a lot of things that we could do, different maybe types of attacks. We will be working on animations. We will be looking also at pulling in different libraries. So code that people have already written that we can use to adapt to our situation to make it a little bit easier for us to write the program. We will be looking at that. We'll be looking at how to read and write different files so that we can have high scores and all that kinds of cool stuff. Okay. And then when we finish the course, one of the things that I want you guys to do is that we need to make sure that we are, using industry standard paperwork. We want to make sure that we are having our players well balanced, that the mechanics are good, that they're not running at a weird speed. Okay. So in that, as you're developing, you're going to have other people in the class also looking at your game to see, are your mechanics good? Is the controls good? Is there bugs in there? So that you can identify those and try to improve them in your game. Also, when you go to add features towards the end of the course, you guys will end up having to have other people play your game, okay, that are not in this class, that are not learning programming, so you can get their feedback. and I'll learn. You guys will see, how to do beta tests and stuff like that, to see if there were features that you should do. Maybe there might be features that you don't want to do, but they're suggested by those players, or maybe it's just too time intensive. So we'll have talks about that. You guys will learn a little bit more of the process. You guys will also learn more about, not just doing images and animations, but how to add sound effects, how to add music to it, have different states for that, different screens, things like that. So we get to really delve into, much more in-depth topics. So this will be a lot of fun. Everybody in Computer Programming 2 really enjoy what they can get out of this class. So I'm excited for you to be in Computer Programming 2 with me and the stuff that we get to create this semester. All right, good luck. Have fun.